Since the Cuban Revolution in 1959, the country has had a planned economy. This was one of the first things Fidel Castro implemented when he got to power, and it has come with a lot of good things. These mainly being free education and free healthcare. The Cubans seem happy about their situation. You rarely see Cubans who aren't smiling. One of the things you do experience as a tourist, though, is what seems to be a lack of will to work effectively. Queues at a supermarket can often take up to an hour, and buses come whenever they come. There is no schedule for the Cuban working force, and everything seems to be influenced by a laissez faire mentality.
This mentality seemed quite odd to us. We're from Denmark where everything is expected to run properly and effectively. We typically have a set program for what we need to do throughout the day, but planning your day ahead in Cuba is typically not possible. The Cubans take things as they come, and while might be mad about a bus being 10 minutes late, they seem to happily wait for the bus for sometimes hours at a time and just socialize. We've interviewed our tour guide on our trip as well as some other locals who unfortunately didn't want to be on camera regarding what we consider to be a problem. Does the planned economy and the fact that everybody earns somewhat the same make the Cubans demotivated to work?
So we interviewed an old lady on the streets of Trinidad. She had been working the same job for 40 years of her life, washing the streets for the government and only earning about 10 to 15 cooks per month. Apart from this job for the government, she herself washes the clothes of her neighbors and makes bags that she sells on the streets. In total, she earns about 20 cooks a month. We asked her, why do you think all the Cubans here are so lazy? And her first answer was, well, you can't really have a functioning system where everybody gets paid the same, no matter how bad or good they do their job. Apart from that, she also said that not all Cubans are very poor, as you see on the street. Actually, some of them are very, very rich, but you never ever see these rich people. She thinks that in the future the system will try to make an effort to change this problem of equal pay so there once again will be a functioning working sector in Cuba.
So, as it seems, the Cubans don't like the way the country is run regarding wages. Our guy Roberto also adds on this problem more thoroughly.
This is one of the mistakes committed by the government. Because from the very beginning they wanted to have equality among population and everything. Doesn't matter if you work more or not, so you can give what you can do. And then so the government is going to give you just to live and to continue with the society. Now, in this moment, they have another idea. This is one of those things included in order to rectify the society. So now people have to be, the people who work more is going to have better salary than those people that they are not going to work. What's happened? So right now we are not the government. I mean, our country, the economy is not very good. It's not in good condition in order to pay a real salary to the people. And the government, Raul, knows that. Fidel knew it. So, and they are trying to give certain salary. So now there are some transformation in many factories, so people are paid according to what they produce. So this is one of the things that now, so we are included in our society.
Do you think there's any good things or just positive things about the way that it used to be, like everybody was paid somewhat the same, or is it just like a big mistake?
It was a big mistake. It was a big mistake. Now, so they are changing all this to this salary.
So the optimal solution, according to Roberto, might just be to look at the rest of the world and take the best parts of each governing form, in this example capitalism, and try to implement it at Cuba.
One of the big things you'll experience as a tourist that really indicates that Cubans are not happy to work with their extremely low wages is the amount of work street vendors will put into trying to make you buy their products. No government employee will put in the same work, but since street vendors work for their own pockets and the government employees solely make money for the government, it really proves the point that the planned economy has become much less welcome throughout the Cuban working force.
To make sure we have as many different aspects as possible, we also interviewed a lady about the good things about the system.
Many things good because all people have the opportunity to study, all people have the opportunity to visit the doctor and pay attention to the doctor. The medicines is we acquire the medicines in yes free or a good price.
Yes.
A good price. A good price. We don't have problems. For example, in Cuba, our children play in the street in all time of day, and we
Safe.
don't.
So according to the Cuban lady, the education system is very good. People have the opportunity to become whatever they want to. The medication is very cheap, which results in the Cubans being very good at providing diseases. Besides that, the children and people in general are very happy and safe and plays and dances on the street. So even though the planned economy does not work to the optimal, the Cubans lives a very life-changing life.
In the end, we also asked Roberto how he thinks Cuba will look like in maybe 20 or 30 years in the future.
So just in this short period, with those transformation made by the government, right? So we can see the difference. And if we go back, so we will see that. Remember I said in the crisis, during the crisis, so 100 local pesos, just one convertible. Today is 24. So it's better in the conditions, so people can see to the future that it's going to be better for everyone. So anyway, so today the government is not in this condition, and they are doing, government, they are doing things. One of the big problems we have here is exactly two currencies in circulation, right? So that's why we have to, the government is trying to eliminate one of these currencies and to use just one currency for choice for everything here. And now they are trying to equal. So years ago we used to go to a shop. This shop was just in local pesos. You cannot pay with currency, with convertible. It's just for local pesos. And you used to go to shops for convertibles, and you cannot pay, even though so we have equivalents, you cannot pay with, they were separate. Now, in convertible shops, you can pay with local pesos and with convertible as well, with equivalent there. So just to unify, the currency. Once we can unify the currency, and everybody has more options to go to the convertible peso shop, so they are gone. Our money is going to be valued by the people, and the salary is going to be valued as well. You see, so that's the direction of the government going to better. So the future is going to be better. Okay. It's going to be better anyway. So in five years ago, so we were not in the same condition that we are now. Right now, 5 years ago, people need something else, and some salaries were very low and so on. Nowadays, so people is better. So if you walk in Trinidad, if you walk in Vinales, you see the people building their houses by themselves. People that they can buy cars, people with electrical motorbikes, so they have better incomes.
As our AT4 assignment has come to an end, we've managed to gain more knowledge regarding the influence Cuba's planned economy and communist government has had on the Cuban working force. Because of the research from our assignment, we're able to conclude that the planned economy in Cuba causes a demotivation in the Cuban workforce and therefore also reduces the country's economical growth. Though our interviews show that Cuba is under development, in a positive direction, as closing in on becoming an efficient and sustainable system with a planned economy which is getting more traits from market economy, for an example, Cubans being able to make private businesses.